Hello and welcome to the Butler Collegian DAWGCAST, the first ever episode of this series for Butler students, by Butler students. Whether you're tuning in audibly or listening and watching us on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in for this first of many episodes. My name is Eva Hallman, a Multimedia Editor for the Butler Collegian and the host of DAWGCAST. We have so many things planned for just this first episode and then for many more to come, so I hope that you stick around and you watch those. For the segments for today, we are going to hear about a club on campus that is growing rapidly. We're going to hear an opinion of the week, hear from President Danko, and more, all here with the Butler Collegian. But first, let's get to a news story. So there have been recent reports of cars being broken into, which forces students to reevaluate the unquestioned trust they have in Butler's campus. On September 8th, Butler students promptly received a timely warning via an email notifying of break-ins and detailing the events. While none of the current reports include any extensive damages, students on and off campus alike are worried what that means for the safety of their vehicles and belongings. News reporter Bella Basone talked to Matthew Grimes, the Community Relations Officer for the Butler University Police Department, as well as students who had their cars broken into on their take on the recent events. So tune into that story, whether online or on print for the Butler Collegian, for all of those interviews and to hear the whole story about what's happening with all of these car break-ins. But that just means it's time for our next segment, and it's going to be the Butler Collegian Sports Report. I am so excited to have my dear friend and one of my fellow editors, Caleb DeNorm, Assistant Sports Editor, giving us the recap on all that's happening in Butler Athletics. There have been a lot of games, a lot of upsets, and a lot of wins, so we're going to check in with Caleb, see what's going on in Butler Athletics, and he's going to give us the latest. Take it away, Caleb.
Welcome to the Butler Collegian Sports Report. I'm Assistant Sports Editor Caleb DeNorm. Starting out on the pitch, the Butler men's soccer team was looking for their first win of the season against Big East opponent Villanova on Friday night. Their previous game ended in a 1-0 loss to Ohio State, so they were looking to bounce back against the Wildcats. It was the Palmer Alt show in Pennsylvania as he struck twice to score both of Butler's goals. The Dogs' defense gave up a goal later in the match, but Alt's brace was enough to give the Bulldogs the win. This gave Butler their first win on the year in their first conference matchup. Heading onto the court, the volleyball team also had a match this past Friday in the True by Hilton Invitational, located in Dayton, Ohio. The Bulldogs had a tough start to their tournament, falling in 3 straight sets to Wright State on Thursday night. In their Friday afternoon match against Cincinnati, the Dogs bounced back, winning 3-2. Butler begins conference play on Wednesday the 20th at home against Xavier. Back to the pitch, the women's soccer team is coming off a successful week, beating the 25th ranked TCU Horned Frogs 2-1 on September 10th. Later on Thursday, they took down in-state rivals Ball State, putting 4 goals past the Cardinals and holding a shutout. Freshman forward Nora Jackman led the offensive charge, scoring 3 goals in 2 games. Sophomore midfielder Talia Summer racked up 2 assists as well. The next matchup for the women's soccer team is in Cincinnati, Ohio, against ranked Xavier Musketeers in a much-anticipated rivalry matchup. Moving to the gridiron, it was a season to remember for Butler football in 2022 as they look to build on that momentum this year. After a loss to 14th-ranked Montana and a win over Taylor University, the Wabash University Little Giants awaited the Bulldogs on Saturday night in the Selleck Bowl. Wabash proved to be outmatched against the Dogs as quarterback Brett Bushka and company cruised to a 47-21 win. Bushka threw for 198 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day, while also rushing for 1 score. Butler begins conference play against Stetson this coming Saturday away from home. This has been the Butler Collegian Sports Report with Assistant Sports Editor Caleb DeNorm. Check out the sports section for weekly Butler sports stories. Back to you, Eva.
Thank you, Caleb. And to stay up to date with everything happening with Butler Athletics, check out the Butler Collegian Sports section or the Multimedia section for all current events and stories on Butler Athletics. The Multimedia section has been kicking off this year a new After the Buzzer series, which is where reporters go to different and various sporting events and report just after that final minute, that final second, just after the buzzer. So you can go check out the After the Buzzers and any stories on the Butler Collegian, plus on the YouTube page at the Butler Collegian. The next segment is going to be a reoccurring segment that we will have on the DAWGCAST, and that is Club Chat. There are lots and clubs and organizations here on campus, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I forget how many there are, or honestly just what they are. You know, you hear about this club and you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds really cool, but what does it entail? Well, Club Chat is designed to get to know these organizations in a brief minute, plus learn some of the initiatives that they're doing, and if you still want to join, some of them still have availability, and who knows, you might want to join that club. So for the first Club Chat, I sat down with Butler DECA. Personally, I had no idea what DECA was. You know, my cousins did it, but I had no idea what DECA was. I knew it was a business sort of thing, but after sitting down with Eric, I now know what DECA is, especially what happens in Butler DECA. So let's go and check out my interview with Eric. And welcome back to Club Chat, where we do a deep dive into Butler's organizations and clubs and get to know them. So for the first ever Club Chat, I am here with Eric, who is the founder and president of Butler DECA. So Eric, thank you for being on this first episode.
Of course. Appreciate you guys inviting me out.
So first off, what is DECA for those who don't know?
Yeah, so DECA is a huge business organization in high schools and colleges across the United States and a few other countries. So we've had the opportunity to expand it to the Collegian Association, is what I like to call it. So pretty much what you do in DECA is you get the opportunity to go into different aspects of business. We have 25 different competitive events to choose from. So whatever you're looking into leaning towards, you can do that here. We like to say that we're a club for all majors, so you don't have to be a business major to join. It's a great opportunity to get out of your comfort zone if you're not a business major, diversify your resume in the process as well.
Awesome. And you guys just had your first call-out meeting, so you're going to look forward to this whole year, this whole school year. So what exactly are things you're going to do this year, and what can students look forward to seeing you do?
Yeah, so as a recording date, we have about 90 members that are signed up for the organization. So we went from 7 last year to 90 this year. That's a pretty big jump, to say the least. So we have a couple different things we are going to be working on for members this year. First off, we have a mentor group that has over 30 presidents, founders, and CEOs of companies that are going to help our students prepare for their competitive events program. Past that, we're also having a curriculum alignment with Lacey School Business. So students that are in certain classes can pair that with a competitive event, meaning that they don't have to do a ton of extra work to participate. We're also paying for 120 members to join for free, so we still have quite a few free memberships left. So that's something we're also throwing out to our students here. Really the best part about it is we're going to be trying to take 25 students to international competition in April of next year. So we're all going to travel down to Austin, Texas, try to win some glass for the Lacey School of Business, and we'll see how it goes.
So if someone wants to keep up and see what you guys are up to, what social media platforms are you guys on?
Yeah, so we're on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, we're on Facebook. All basically, if you look up Butler University DECA on any of those, you'll be able to find our social media platforms.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for being a part of the Club Chat. And if you're interested in still joining or want to see what they're all about, go follow those social media platforms. And back to me in the studio. Thank you, Eric, and thank you, Butler DECA, for sitting down with me to learn more about your organization. Congratulations on 90 new members. That is absolutely incredible. And if you're interested in joining DECA, feel free to go and reach out to them. They've got 20 more paid spots left, so go and grab those before they are gone. But also, if you have a club or organization that you want to learn more about, reach out to us at the Butler Collegian, and we will learn more, hopefully sit down with them for a club chat, and then who knows, you'll maybe join them next. But now I have a fun and interesting news story that I knew nothing about until I read this article by news reporter Maxwell Collins. So on September 16th, Butler's History Anthropology Classics Department gathered behind Holcomb Observatory for their fall department picnic and 4th annual scavenger hunt. Doesn't that sound like so much fun? While the picnic has happened on and off for the past 20 years, 4 years ago marked when the department added a scavenger hunt, orchestrated by Dr. Tom Mold, and focused more heavily on building a departmental community. Collins went to the picnic and watched as teams walked and ran around campus for the scavenger hunt, hunting down clues and earning points. Want to learn about his scavenger hunt adventures? Well, go and check out his article online at thebutlercollegian.com. It's certainly a story that is very interesting and you're not going to want to miss. But also something that just published in the recent Butler Collegian drop on Tuesday is an opinion of the week. There's lots of opinion columns that were just published, but opinion editors sat down to give us a opinion of the week, talk more about the story and kind of what their thoughts are on it, and hence opinion of the week. So if you have social media, most of us do, and if you have Facebook, I do, you probably know about this page. And Maddie and Reese are going to talk more about this page.
Hi, I'm Reese Butler.
And I'm Maddie Wood.
Welcome to
Opinion of the Week.
We're going to be highlighting an upcoming opinion story that will be featured in issue 4 of the Butler Collegian.
This week's opinion piece is on the Butler University unofficial parent and student Facebook page written by opinion columnist Evan Mickle.
And if you're on social media at all, you have probably heard of this page. The original intention was just to create community, especially for incoming students who don't necessarily have the connections and resources to understand what the rest of us have been able to learn through experience.
However, this page has definitely become the direct opposite, with a lot of hatred directed towards Butler University as a whole, with things including faculty and staff,
RAs,
campus procedures,
parking passes,
campus policies,
dining halls.
Pretty much anything you can think of, there's definitely hatred towards it.
And our columnist is going to cover all of the eccentricities of that, including things like the technological usage of it and how people utilize the platform in a way that isn't efficient.
So make sure to visit thebutlercollegian.com
or pick up one of our in-print copies on campus
and give the story a read. Thank you so much for joining the opinion section for this DAWGCAST episode. I'm Maddie Wood.
I'm Reese Butler.
Back to you, Eva.
Thank you to Maddie and Reese for that fun opinion of the week. We're going to transition, as always, to our next segment. And this one is This Month with President Danko. This is where we learn what's happening in C-suite. What are the president's plans and how are they going to be implemented here on campus? You know, a lot of rumors of what's happening to certain buildings, what's happening to certain areas, all swarm around campus, but we don't really get a clear answer unless we go to the president himself. I sat down with President Danko to discuss a few things that students were talking about. The first is Ross Hall. As a sophomore, I have never stepped foot in Ross Hall. I've seen pictures, but I really want to go in to Ross Hall and just see it. I'm just very curious of what the inside of Ross Hall looks like. But as we know that there are serious health violations, the building's not up to the university standard, there's inaccessibility issues, so the building is being taken down. But what is going in its place? You know, some rumors have been that there's going to be a hotel going in there for parents. Some places say that there's going to be more food options. Some just say it's going to be a random lot. So let's hear from President Danko of his plans for Ross Hall.
Well, we had made that decision a number of years ago that both Schweitzer and Ross were going to be taken offline. One of the things being discussed is to at least temporarily put some parking there so we could address some of the other things we want to do. And that could ultimately lead to a parking structure of some sort so we could address some of the shortage of parking that we have on campus and have something on that part of the campus. Also, we're looking at adding a couple Greek houses as well, and that would provide some land for us to do that as well.
Parking is always an issue on campus. So thank you, President Danko, for talking about your plans to implement more parking on campus, as I know that's a big concern for students even before they get to school. You know, you're going to try and get that parking pass. Parking is always a hot topic here at Butler, but it's also with students and with faculty. Some may have noticed that a majority of parking has been eliminated between Lilly Hall and the pharmacy building. which was once a large gravel lot for professors and faculty to park on for A passes, is now a green grass patch. At the 2023 State of the University address, President Danko mentioned plans for an outdoor amphitheater. Does he still have those plans? Let's find out.
One thing we were looking at doing there was some type of, make that a permanent outdoor venue of some sort, right? And we were thinking about a stage, on the other end, or the observatory, right? And after we looked at the slope and a number of things weren't going to fit in there. So what we did, just for the sake of starting to beautify that part of campus again, is we eliminated the parking, which was always intended to be temporary, and to grass it over. So right now we're, it is what it is at the moment. I can't guarantee that there might not be some changes, because we're always looking to try to improve things.
Something will be going there. We just don't know what yet. So thank you to President Danko for talking to me about a few of those topics. We'll meet with him once a month to kind of get a gauge and clear the air of some of the hot topics that are going around here at Butler, and to learn a little more about his plans for the university. He mentioned beautification is a big one, accessibility is another one. So we're going to learn more about his plans and what's all happening in C-suite. To wrap up the DAWGCAST, I know it's already been almost the whole segment. This has been so much fun. We have a fun, short little segment. It is following multimedia reporters Kayla Campbell and Eliza West as they tune in to see what fellow students are listening to. Enjoy their episode of Dogs on the Street.
I'm Kayla Campbell, here with
Eliza West, and we are going to see what you guys are listening to today. What are you listening to?
Karma by Taylor Swift.
Excellent choice.
Hi, what are we listening to right now?
Take Me to Church by Hoosier.
Good choice, thank you.
All right, what are we listening to right now?
I'm listening to Chemical by Post Malone.
Awesome choice.
Hi, what are we listening to right now?
Oliver Anthony, Richmond, north of Richmond.
All right,
what are we listening to today?
Rises the Moon by Liana Flores.
Awesome choice.
What are we listening to right now?
Look What You Made Me Do by Taylor Swift.
Excellent, thank you. For the Butler Collegian, I'm Kayla Campbell.
And I'm Eliza West.
And this has been Dogs on the Street.
Thank you, Eliza and Kayla, for that very fun segment. I loved hearing all of the Taylor Swift songs that are going around campus. If I were to be stopped and asked what I was listening to, it probably would be Taylor Swift. I know I'm excited for 1989, Taylor's version, to be released, and I'm sure some of you also are as well. So we'll have to keep tabs on that. Maybe a segment coming here shortly, the Butler Collegian Taylor's version. Something fun, of course. So again, thank you so much for tuning into this first ever episode. Thank you to our leadership team for the Butler Collegian for allowing us to start this podcast. It's a big daunting task, but I hope you guys all enjoy. Again, check this out on Spotify, on YouTube, anywhere where you can listen to podcasts, and we will catch you all next episode. This is Eva Hallman, multimedia editor and host for the Butler Collegian DAWGCAST, signing off, and I will see you next time.